Is LOKLiK's brand new iENgrave laser with a cover the right budget-friendly, beginner-friendly, and safety-conscious engraving machine for you? A huge thanks to LOKLiK for sending us this unique and versatile 10W diode laser engraver. In this video, we'll be unboxing, setting up, testing, and reviewing it so you can decide if this is an investment you should make. Some of the standout features of this machine include its compatibility with many softwares, the enclosed workspace with a removable bottom, its advertised 500mm per second engraving speed, and many sensors for enhanced safety. Additionally, this laser is advertised to support the customization of a wide range of different materials. And if you're interested in purchasing this laser, we'll have any discount codes, links, and additional information in the description. We'll also try to keep our community post updated with information on this laser that's for pre-sale.
Alright, so here is everything that came in the box. First off, you can see we have our LOKLiK 10W diode laser. We have some hardware to put the cover on. You can see it does have a completely enclosed cover and air extraction. Comes with safety glasses, of course. Comes with some leg extensions, so you could take the base off of this and engrave on much thicker material, or just straight on into a table. Comes with all your necessary cables, some lights, and some cable management. Also comes with a little brush to clean off material, and then 3 pieces of 2mm ply. Comes with your laser lock keys, a USB thumb drive, and a Wi-Fi antenna because this machine is Wi-Fi capable. So for shipping, they actually bolt this gantry down so it doesn't move. So it's important that we remove this bracket here on this side as well as on the other side over here. This is the focusing tool. So both sides of the cover have little limit switches for the sensor for the lid to be closed before the laser will fire, and I'm just connecting those. Feels a lot better. .7 amp, 24 volt, 2.5 amp. So this drive came with the laser and should have our LightBurn configuration as well as a copy of Laser GRBL if you'd like to use that software. Okay, so here's our USB thumb drive in there. It comes with our copy of Laser GRBL, and it even comes with a copy of LightBurn. But what is important here when we configure into LightBurn is we can just import this file that will have all of the configuration data of this laser. So let's go into LightBurn. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the machine. Now here in Devices, I can click on that and I can import. And on my USB thumb drive, I've got this LBDEV file, which is the file needed to import this device. Click OK, and now I can select our laser. We are connected. So let's see if it will frame for us. I'm just going to draw a rectangle and let's frame it out. Very cool. It's in millimeters per second, which it really should be in, yeah, because this is a diode laser. So let me change that over, slow this down a bit. Let's go with that and see how it does. Yeah, close the door. It won't move if you don't close the door. Yeah, we ended up stopping after 2 passes because clearly I had the setting too slow. Haven't worked with a diode laser like this in quite some time, so I wasn't really sure on settings. But we did notice, obviously, the image is inverted and upside down, but that's a simple setting we can change in LightBurn. But I will note the engraving is really nice. At least we got the engraving setting correct. So in order to change the direction, we just need to go into our device settings here and check our origin. And yes, right here is our problem. So our origin, our true origin for the laser is in the back left corner. And right now it has it in the front left corner. So let's check that. And it automatically flips our design upside down. But that is what we want, and that should correct our issue. So we can make some adjustments on our cut line to speed that up. Let's change that down to 2 and see if that'll do it. I don't think we'll need 3. I think it's 2. I'm just gonna leave this 2. And our engraving was perfect, so we'll leave that as is. And let's try this again. Oh. 3 passes was right. Let's do it again. It wasn't cleanly cut all the way, so we just changed it to 3 passes. All right, so here's some results that we got just by guessing where our best settings would be. I would say engraving wise, we got it pretty perfect, and we got it to cut through as well. Gonna go to the App Store, LOKLiK, gonna download the LOKLiK app, and then we'll open it, sign in. So now we'll go through the tutorial. Okay, and then we'll go in and set up our device. Oh, I gotta turn the machine on. That would make sense. Let's try again. And we're connected. Now we have already connected to our Wi-Fi, but initially when you get into this app, it's gonna have you connect your phone to the Wi-Fi that the laser engraver itself emits. And when you connect there, then you can configure the machine to connect to your personal Wi-Fi and type in your personal Wi-Fi's password. And then you'll get to where we're at right now, where both our phone and our laser engraver are connected to our Wi-Fi system. So we are connected. And now we can go right into making projects if we wanted to. So what's really cool about this app is there's a lot of different clip art to choose from just to get you started, which is really cool. So let's go ahead and search something. Let's see what we got. Let's see, it's something beach themed. Oh, that's really cool. I like that. So just like that, we can go to our design, and then you can see we have our workspace, and we can move it around. We can resize it to our needs. And what else? We could also add some text if we wanted to, shapes, all of our tools down here. There's also an AI tool where we can, I assume, let's see what we can do. Yeah, we can prompt it to do something, and it should emit a AI generated image. Dog on the beach. So that's pretty neat. Again, this integration of AI makes it really simple in finding unique new images that are AI generated. For now, for our test, we'll go ahead and use this design that we already found. That is a free clip art item in the LOKLiK app. And then let's go ahead and see how easy it is to make. And we can see we can change some settings. So now what we need to do, it says we need to put in our SD card. In the front of the machine, there's this slot for a micro SD card, and luckily enough, the machine actually comes with one that's part of this USB stick that has the current software on it. And all we have to do is take this out and put it in here, so it has a local storage to put our design on while it engraves. So let's try this again. We'll go to Add to Task, and we'll go ahead and name it. And then we just hit play, and it should go. Wow, that's pretty neat. I love how we can get the gradient here. Again, went with the default settings based off of the type of material that we're using, and with just a couple clicks of a button in our app, we got pretty perfect results. I think if we just go to make, mode line, so you can choose if it's a fill or a line here. So we'll choose that. We are cutting. And this is 3mm basswood. Yeah, so it adjusted our engraving speed to 230 millimeters per minute and 100% power with one pass. In theory, if we put our scrap piece to test this out, it should cut out our little circle. I'm just gonna move this. Well, it did cut out. So we probably could have sped it up a little bit to keep from charring, but for default settings, it did what it said it was going to do.
We're now going to set up a design that we'll be cutting out to glue on a card. The first thing we'll do is utilize the upload feature in the LOKLiK app. We can easily upload the first layer in our design that we want to cut. Then, using the standard cut image processing, we can almost instantly format our image for cutting with our laser. Since we don't need to add text or other shapes to our design, we'll go ahead and move on to the Make page where we can adjust settings. At the time of filming this, there's no presets for laser cutting cardstock, so we went ahead and used this paper setting, which we realized later wasn't a low enough speed for cutting cardstock with this laser.
Slow that down. Craft paper would just be like regular printer paper. So we ended up using the craft paper default settings, but this is technically a cardstock, so it's a little bit thicker than I would say craft paper, so it didn't cut out the first time. So I just ran it again at a slower speed. And what I'm kind of happy about, and it's kind of remarkable, is how accurate it was to be able to go over this twice and get really perfect results, which is kind of a testament to how accurate this machine is for it to be able to be run twice and have really no issue engraving exactly where it did the first time. So that's good. So after using this pre-released laser, here are some of our initial thoughts. Here are the things that we really like about this machine. Overall, I'll say this laser is well constructed. Out of the box, the majority of this laser is already assembled. The only thing that you need to assemble is the cover for the enclosure. This machine is chock full of safety features, such as being fully enclosed to protect your eyes. It comes with an exhaust fan that exhausts smoke out of the room or area that you're in to help protect your lungs. Additionally, there are fire sensors, tilt sensors, movement sensors, as well as door open sensors to ensure that this machine isn't firing unless it's under the most safe conditions. We also like the versatility of this machine, and what I mean by that is the fact that you can remove the base to have an open bottom for larger projects, as well as this machine comes with the riser feet for any potential projects that have a lot of depth to it, as well as maybe a future upgrade such as a rotary could fit underneath with a tumbler or cup or whatnot. So there's a lot of versatility with this machine right out of the box. Another thing that we liked about this machine was its ease of use, particularly with their proprietary app. So we were able to control this machine with our mobile phone via Wi-Fi really easily. The application itself is pretty intuitive, so we were able to, without having used it ever before, we're able to engrave a design pretty rapidly, and again, very intuitive software. So out of all of the other lasers that we use that also have proprietary software, I would say that this LOKLiK software was the easiest to use and set up for engraving. Now in the software itself, we found that the default settings for the different types of material that we were using were spot on, and we didn't have to adjust anything at all. Now the software itself is the same software that LOKLiK uses to control their iCraft cutting machines. So if you're a user already of an iCraft cutting machine, well then learning how to do laser engraving with it is going to be a breeze. Now at time of filming, we were not able to connect this machine to the desktop version of the iCraft software. I believe that a software update will need to come out to add this machine as a device that software recognizes. Well, we were able to connect to our phone application or mobile application, and that worked perfectly. Now, some cons of this machine. The first one I'll say is there's no air assist. So there are provisions here if you wanted to purchase an air pump and be able to integrate it into this machine, it is there. However, for the laser module itself, as it comes shipped, is not going to work with air assist. This machine also does not come with an integrated camera. At this price point, you're hit or miss if it will come with a camera or not, but there are other laser machines at this price point that do come with integrated cameras, so it would have been nice to have this. Since it already has a cover, you might as well integrate a camera to the very top of it. It does have this steel base to protect the bottom of your whatever you're working on. However, we probably want to protect that as well, so we used a honeycomb bed that we've already had, but if you want one, you're gonna have to purchase that separately. The integrated exhaust fan that comes on the back of this cover is pretty weak. It's not a very strong exhaust fan, so there may be some smoke escaping the cover as you engrave longer jobs or cut. Now, we did find that the cover itself is fitted very, very well. It's not airtight, so that has potential for smoke to leak. Another strange thing about this machine was the focal length lever. Not really integrated well, I don't think. In order to get that lever out, you basically have to move a screw out rather than it being an actual handle or lever. Just kind of the niceties here, it's just a strange choice. The laser module itself doesn't have an integrated crosshair or red laser dot in order to help you with framing. So it ends up using the blue light laser at a very low power to frame out your job, which again isn't terrible, but if you want that persistent red dot or crosshair on, then that is a potential issue. The other thing that I find kind of irritating about this is the lid has to be closed in order for you to frame your job. So if you're trying to get something very precise, you have to close the cover, frame it, lift the cover, kind of move it into place, close it again before you can frame again. Just kind of weird. I would have thought that they would have just made the latch sensors here just turn off the laser so it prevents that from firing rather than your ability to frame. The last con of this machine really has to do with their choice of making the light and exhaust fan plug in separately rather than integrating into the machine itself. I think it's a strange choice. Obviously, I think some cost savings there by kind of making that a separate unit, because you can, I guess, you could take this cover off and engrave with this machine without a cover, but I would have thought they would have integrated the lights and exhaust just a little bit better, maybe even internally where it can plug in so that you're not having to kind of run two separate plugs and wires. The engraving and cutting of this machine is pretty typical of what you would expect from a 10-watt diode laser. They claim that you can cut 8mm plywood in a single pass, though you're going to have to do that at a very, very slow speed, which is going to cause charring and soot damage on the top of your material. But at a 10-watt diode laser, you're probably going to be doing more engraving than cutting. So just something to know, if you want something more powerful for cutting, your probably best bet is to get a more powerful machine. So who is this laser for? Well, probably someone who's very safety conscious. With all of the safety features integrated into this machine at this price point, that's a good deal. Also, if you're already a user of the iCreate software because you use this brand already for cutting machines, it's an easy transition to go from cutting machine to laser engraver. So again, if you're already used to that software, this is a good option. I also believe that this laser engraver is good for someone at any skill level for assembly, because the majority of it comes assembled, and the parts that are not assembled are very clearly labeled in order to assemble pretty easily, and the cover precisely fits in place with no guesswork. So for LOKLiK's first attempt at a laser engraver, I think they did a pretty good job, as the majority of the machine is very, very well put together. And really my only gripes is for some aesthetic choices that they made, probably for some cost savings, but the parts that you need good money towards, they did put that into this machine.
Once again, thank you so much to LOKLiK for sending us their first laser engraver. So far we've enjoyed using this 10W diode laser, and we have only scratched the surface when it comes to the things you can do with the laser. Also, a huge thanks to you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Any additional information we have and possible discounts and links on this item for pre-sale will be in the description. Stay crafty!